It's clean stall day for everybody. And by everybody, I do mean everybody. So these two knuckleheads, Tweedledee and Tweedledum here, we're just in here smushing around, making it dirty. Somebody already pooped in it because, you know, that's how they roll. Every goat loves clean stall day, and their favorite activity is to come in and make it as dirty as possible, as fast as possible. So I know the last time we checked in on the boys, I focused in on Voodoo and his hair and his coat. And, you know, every time I see him, this has only been like a day and a half. But every time I see him, I see something different about him that I absolutely love. I mean, aside from the fact that he's playing with Phineas, which is awesome. So he's starting to become a baby buck instead of a baby. He's definitely maturing, and his coat, again, is coming in, but his behaviors are changing too. Oh, great. Phineas, poop away. Have at it. Apparently that corner is owned now by Phineas. The father-son show. It's just so cute. I can't stand it. So, you know, when I look at Finn, or I look at Finn versus I look at Voodoo, right? And what I see with Voodoo are a couple of things. I said last time, he's in his pretty awkward stage. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Where, you know, his legs are long, but his body hasn't necessarily caught up. He's not gotten broad and masculine. He actually looked more masculine when he was littler, right? When he was a bit more compact. So it'll be really interesting to see what the judges think of him. We've still got, let's see, it's end of July, August, September. So we've got about 2.5 months before he's in front of judges again. And, you know, they grow, so things can change. But conformationally, he's stunning. What I think is going to happen, and I could be wrong, but what I think is going to happen in the ring this time is he's actually going to get the opposite feedback that we got last time, right? I think the judges are going to look at him and go, I'm not so sure about him. And he's reached a point where I don't like him now. And that's not unusual, right? Think about a child growing up. They go from a cute little baby to a cute little toddler, you know, to a young preteen to a teen, right? And you change, and your looks change, and your body changes. Well, so will theirs. And what will happen now as he's getting into these, I'll call it more mature classes, is I think he's going to get deemed too feminine at the outset. I look at his father and I look at his mother, you know, his, technically his sire and his dam. And I'm not concerned that this is going to change, but it's the way that his color pattern is, on top of just the way that his growth pattern is happening. Right now, his legs look kind of spindly. He looks kind of fluffy and wide in the middle, but he doesn't have it coming down past his chest yet. He's got a great headdress, but it's not super long yet. His beard is... His chinny chin is getting super long, but it hasn't met his chest. His neck is still working, right? It's not fully grown in. So, you know, every time I look at him, I reevaluate him, right? Especially because if I'm going to put him in a breeding program and I am going to use him as a breeding buck in September, October, I need to be confident that he's going to produce improvements in my herd. Now, again, conformationally and personality-wise, there's no doubt in my mind. I know that he's going to grow into himself. Actually, I don't know that, right? You can't know that. I believe and I predict that he's going to grow into himself. But right now, he looks a bit like a sheep. right? Sort of on those longer legs with more width and girth than, that length of body, that breadth of body, right? Like when you look at Phineas, he doesn't look, his width, his masculinity, his broad shoulders doesn't look like it's going to fall over or fall apart. Like it doesn't look like it is different than his bottom set. Whereas, these black is thinning. So these black legs that are all the way up to right where, the top of his coat, his chest is, are just kind of giving him a funny appearance for now. And again, in 2 months, I could be having a completely different conversation. I just like to give you sort of my thoughts as this goes on. Some of the interesting dynamics about, evaluating a buck for breeding. If he continues to remain in this, what I'll call some semi-awkward stage, despite myself, I may actually not put him in the program as a younger buck and hold him back until he's, more like 18 months old and I can really see what he looks like. I have that option. I don't need to use him. I'm not in a position where, I don't have other bucks to use, thankfully. He's pretty. He's got all the parts and pieces. They're just not quite coming together at this point in his growth pattern. So again, if I think that there's any risk that it's not going to come together, I'm not going to put him in my breeding program, because we breed for improvement. We breed for, moving to the next level. We breed for every generation to be better than the last. But you have to do the best to the best for that. Do I think he is the best? I do. I mean, shoot, he's carrying a, grand champion junior buck title, right? Like, I think he's fabulous. I really have no doubt that he's going to be fabulous. But until I can see it and confirm it, I have to be very decisive about what we do. I could certainly, JC makes the best pet goats in the world. Her babies are always the most friendly, the most fun, the most snuggly, just the best, right? So I could very easily, because I know that I'm always going to sell JC's goats or her babies as pets, I could breed him to JC safely. But at the same time, I don't know that, I'm going to do that, right? I don't know that I want to do that and add his genetics to the world until I'm comfortable that his genetics are what I believe them to be. So I hope that makes sense a little bit. And I hope that, folks understand what it takes to be a responsible breeder, what it takes to look at your animals with a lens that doesn't leave you herd blind. And I have been guilty of being herd blind, where, I look at my herd and I think they're the best things and they look amazing. And it isn't until you go into a ring and you see a picture, not even while I'm in the ring, but then like later on, you see a picture of your goat in the ring next to other goats and you go, oh, they're not nearly as good as I thought they were. Because you become herd blind, right? You see them every day. You don't see their flaws anymore. You just see all their goods. Aren't you enjoying the day out? So I'm trying to be very cautious not to do that. But yeah, since it was clean stall day, I wanted to take a quick peek at everybody. And while we're hanging out here with the mama chickens, as always, are still ruling the roost with their babies. And I think that's about it for today. The babies are just popping out from everywhere. I think that's it for today. And until next time, as always, there's work to be done. Bye for now.